But the thing I did take from him is trouble is easy to get in, but it's hard to get out of. I'm taking a part of their life,
bro,
and literally, oh my God, I remember this. and some people literally thank me and say, I appreciate you just for even bringing this back into my life, because it was nothing like that time.
Yeah.
And to put a smile on somebody else's face,
it
keeps me going, tell you the truth, man.
That's
and it's a lot of people out there that's hurt, man. And life is hard, man.
Welcome to Catch the Moment podcast. I am your host, David Tyree.
It is caught by Tyree. That's a great catch by David Tyree. Oh my God. This ball's thrown and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player.
Welcome back to Catch the Moment podcast. It's your host, it's your boy, David Tyree. We're back for another exciting episode. Get you on your way through the journey, the pain points, the process to your next destination, your next moment. Here in illustrious NYC today, we mixing up the atmosphere, but even more so, I got a dynamic guest, Andrew Chavers, Art of the Giant. Crazy work, family. So good to have you, bro. What's good?
Everything is everything, man. I'm blessed to be here, man. Especially with a Super Bowl champion. It's a blessing.
and you NYC, you true blue.
I'm true blue, baby, all day.
I love it. I'm imagining why it's the Art of a Giant. It's got to have some connection.
I just literally took the HE off and put art instead of Heart of a Giant, Art of a Giant. So.
I love it. See, I didn't know that. All right, so since we start with the Giants, you got to give me your helmet catch memory story. Where were you? Any memories, anything that you can remember from when you first saw the helmet catch?
Oh, I was at my buddy Matt's house. I remember it like yesterday. It was 18-0. The Patriots coming in. No one had a shot. Like we felt like everybody felt like nobody had a shot.
Yeah.
Especially the Giants in the 18 with Randy Moss and Tom Brady. So, I mean, the underdogs just coming in and doing that, man. I remember going outside, man. I almost shed a tear with that one, man.
Yeah.
Like literally when you guys won that game.
Yeah.
I remember the Burris catch and of course your catch, your amazing catch, fantastic. So
what was going on? What was the atmosphere like when y'all saw the catch? Any thoughts? Anything crazy? Everybody just celebrating?
Man,
any haters?
I was speechless. I was speechless when it happened, man.
Took your
when
breath
it occurred,
away,
man. Because I thought the play was actually over. I thought the play was actually over.
Yeah.
So I was like, "What's going on?" Like, and when Eli was getting his jersey tugged, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on, man? Like, is this real?" So I just seen it, man. That Tyree catch, man. that was it. And my confidence just went up. I was like, "We're gonna win this game."
About to win this game.
I said, "We're gonna win this game." I
That's
was very, very just shocked. I went to the Super Bowl parade actually in New York.
And Cane Heroes.
Yes.
Fire.
I said, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I took off of work.
Nice.
I said, absolutely not. I said, they can catch me on camera, they can catch me on film, they can do whatever they want, but I'm good.
Bro.
I said, I'm good.
It was a special time, man. It's a special time. I always love to hear those just those personal stories, those personal responses. Because, it was a 17-year drought. I was actually recently hanging out with Harry Carson and the captain. And, the New York fan base is just, when we get starved, we turn to hyenas out here, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, but you actually from CT.
Yep.
Stanford?
Stanford. I'm originally from Stanford. I live in Stratford now. But
live in Stratford?
Stanford is my home, WWF. That's the home of the WWE.
That's exactly
where it is, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh man, so that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're an 80s baby, so you official with it. So you in the thick of it, Macho Man. So all right, so just for some flavor, give me your top 3 wrestlers, because that's to be that close to the birthplace of what everybody knows to be that was WWF.
That was WWF, and I'll still to this day call it WWF.
WWF, Mean Gene, because that's my era. Mean Gene, Hulks. Even
Hacksaw, Jim Duggan.
Yeah. So you got some of the classics in there. So give me your top 3 wrestlers and and what was it? Did y'all hit some show? Because I know it was a traveling
absolutely.
show.
We had some in Stanford. There was one at Terry Connor's Ice Rink.
Nice.
That's located in Stanford, in the Cove area. Bret Hart came there. Lex Luger came here.
That's crazy.
The whole nine. Doink the Clown. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember Doink.
Yeah, man. Men on a Mission. Mabel.
Men on a Mission, yeah.
Mabel, those guys.
Fire.
So they made appearances.
That's tight.
But as a younger kid, I used to go to the NYC, to the Garden.
Nice.
And Hartford Civic Center.
The Heartbeat.
In Connecticut.
That's tough.
Yes.
Yeah, man. All right, so let's get into, I mean, bro, you've electric, you know, like I got introduced you to a mutual friend. Man, I just call him young, I call him Junior. I don't even think he's Junior. It's Junior. Jerry
Reese Jr.
Jerry Reese Jr. He's Junior. So I'm like, is he Junior or do I just call him Junior?
That's my guy. Shout out to him.
Big shout out to Jerry Reese Jr.
Yes.
Bro, your artwork is, I mean, you've gone viral a few times. You've had exposure on probably the biggest cultural platform, and Shannon Sharp, Uncle Shay Shay.
Yep.
Super duper cool creative style in relation to art. So, explain to me first, like, what was your journey into art? Because you're actually self-made. Right. And when you get to the level, the quality, how did it start? Because I've always been intrigued. Some people are trained, some people are natural.
Well, before it's a natural God-given ability. I started when I was 6 years old, just literally drawing my favorite cartoon characters, the superheroes on TV.
No doubt.
And literally just freehanding it along. And I would go back to it and then stop. Go back to it and then stop. Basically, when I like literally went through some trials and tribulation,
sure.
I used it as therapy for myself.
So good. It's so good that we can now make the connection, because I don't think anyone, growing up, no one makes those connections.
Right.
Things like journaling, things like writing, things like art. What, if you don't mind, what was it at that time that really kind of, like I said, because number one, as a young man, African-American man, now we're having all these conversations around mental health and things of that nature. What was the challenge that you dealt with at the time that caused you to kind of, use that as a retreat and a healing mechanism?
A lot of family issues, as far as very, very deep-rooted family issues that occurred. I didn't know the route to go to college. I did 1 year at Morgan State in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
But they say college isn't for everybody, and that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It's proven now.
It's proven now. You can learn a trade. There's other opportunities that you can have.
Absolutely.
But after those bumps in the road,
sure,
with my family, my immediate family, and I just went back to it as a psychological thing, just to get my mind right. And set myself up.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. I said I was my big pastime for me as a kid was just color. It's still mad therapeutic.
It's still therapeutic. Absolutely.
It's still mad. And I used to hard border the outline of the color just so my joint could stand out. Yep. That's about as far as I got with my art. I used to press that crayon down real hard, like
right, yeah,
had that bold outline. But nah, man, so I just love that component. What was life like growing up for you? Because we talk about just everybody's got a journey, and when I consider, obviously humans are a piece of art in themselves.
Right.
The process of arriving to a particular destination, that's kind of what we get into. But what was life like growing up? What were some of the greatest challenges that you had as a young man? Even as men, we're starting to talk more about the awkward phases, growing into your teens, acceptance, rejection.
Right.
What were some of the challenging phases for you as you were just coming into maturity and discovering who you were as a young man? You already noted that college wasn't the route. What was the deepest places of wrestling for you as a man?
Just a lot of self-conscious issues. Kids growing up can be very cruel.
Ooh,
you get what I'm saying?
Bro.
Even now, you can see it on social media.
Well, it's
they
just
get
turned
worse.
cyber now instead of we see your face a little bit more.
Personal jabs is just like now it's public now.
Yeah.
So that's what it was like. And I used to get picked on. Like I used to get picked on for my weight being heavy and stuff like that. And like I said, I would channel back into being inclusive, like at home.
Gotcha.
Literally at home, drawing, doing stuff that I love to do, video games, stuff like that would make me happy. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
I grew up in a single family household.
Gotcha.
My dad was in and out battling his demons.
Gotcha.
He was in and out of incarcerated. But when he was there, he was a great father. But unfortunately, he was battling his demons.
Yeah, it's real stuff.
So he passed away 3 years ago, unfortunately, of a drug overdose. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
But yeah,
man, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's great. It's great that you can still have that sober reflection of him, understanding that my dad wasn't in the house, and I tell people I got this journey. Just to sum it up, get back. I got this journey that's really blessed me in the sense that I knew my dad gave his best. We always had a good relationship, and I think we're so many of us, especially in our generation, these '80s babies flowing up. There was kind of breaches in our homes in different ways. Even if a father was there, he might have been emotionally absent.
Absolutely.
And men are so much better today in relation to being able to facilitate the needs of children and family, maybe than they were equipped to back in the day. So when I listen to you kind of have that sense of honor and appreciation for who he was when he was president.
Absolutely. When he was president, he was a dad. He was definitely a dad. But drugs is the sickness. So
talk about
drugs is the sickness. So that person is not there. That person that I say that was my dad, he wasn't there at the time because of that, But the things I took from him, I took positivity from him as well.
Sure.
Like I said, when he was there, he was there. He bought me my first car. So like when he was there, he bought me my first car. He always taught me, and I stuck with it. And my dad was an athlete too. Like he played football. I played football too.
Nice.
But my dad played for FAMU. That's how him and my mom met.
Tough.
That's how they met. At Florida A&M. My dad was a Floridian.
HBCU?
Yeah, my dad was a Floridian.
Okay, got you.
So, but the thing I did take from him is trouble is easy to get in, but it's hard to get out of. So he knew that by his life experiences. So he didn't want me to go through that, which I didn't. I chose not to go that route and broke the cycle. And I'm there for my two kids. I'm there for my two kids and my wife, so my family. So,
that's a blessing, bro. Salute to you, man. Because and like I said, it's just I used a powerful word, broke the cycle, right? And but it's also great to hear. I think we're when I look at the African American community, there's two ways that and obviously when you come from brokenness. We shouldn't be ashamed of brokenness because the human experience is just broken at certain times. And we have experiences that leave us at a deficit. But the opportunity to get whole is somebody's going to have to kind of reestablish a standard. And Drew, you took those positive jewels and literally broke a cycle that could have perpetuated throughout your generation. Talk about how when I think about coming to wholeness, coming to success, who were the people that were a part of your process? And we know how art began to facilitate itself, but who were some of the other people that kind of kept you whole through some of those inner turmoils and even just developing and finding your niche as a young professional?
I would say, like I said, my wife is a big supporter of my work.
Yeah.
I would say my buddy Matt, he's my best friend, so he's always encouraging me to keep on going.
Yeah.
Christopher Racing is one of my favorite artists. He's actually based in Dallas.
Okay.
So me and him are fans of each other.
Wow.
It's nice to say that artists are gone. Like your favorite artist, when they say your favorite artist is gone, they're dead. And that's when arts bring value. But he's still alive and he's still going. I don't know if you follow, but his name is Christopher Racing.
I feel like I might have seen you some discourse on social.
Yeah.
Because I follow you tight, bro. Your work is some of the best work I've been a chance. We definitely gotta open up and show off some of this work. But I think I've been a fan of just number one. Talk about what separates your style of work. There's some obvious things if anyone's seen it, but just for the audience, talk about your style, what's incorporated into it, and what you feel like sets you apart in your approach that brings so much value to the fan or the consumer?
Well, I went to I'm currently in the public schools. Nice. So now, like I said, I was donated dictionaries, and a lady named Danae Young, she gave me the dictionaries.
Big
and she was like, yes, thank God. She said, like, why don't you do something with the dictionaries? I see you doing things on maps. So my philosophy with maps are, if I'm thinking Chicago, or if I'm thinking, let's say Minnesota, I'm thinking Randy Moss.
Yeah,
right off the rip.
Right. When you hear Minnesota,
I'm drawing Randy Moss was one of the GOATs.
Absolutely.
Growing up. I love watching Randy Moss. In Chicago, if we go back to Chicago, I'm thinking Michael Jordan. I'm thinking Tony Kukoc. I'm thinking Dennis Rodman. I'm thinking that era. So I was like, hey, why don't I draw the players that put a stamp on the culture
locations
and to the locations they actually performed at and did their thing. Like right now in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, that's my favorite basketball player right now.
Yeah. Do you think they was a little too quick on the Baby Jordan?
Yeah, they need to calm down. They need to calm down. They need to calm down. I see a resemblance in the looks, a little bit of the looks, but nah, they can't.
Let's slow that down.
They can't do that. Let's let him ride out.
Too. He's special. He's special.
And so now the words, as far as the words that the dictionary, I just freestyle words that mean something to me, like, and I'll go nostalgic. I'm very nostalgic with the dictionary. So
yes.
I'll take like I have a piece in here with like Saturday. So I was thinking Saturday morning cartoons. So what did I do on a Saturday as a young child? Like I said, the 90s was the fondest memories I have.
Special.
And there was no technology there.
No, not
there
like
was
that.
Nothing like there, so I was like, let me reflect on this time and how special the 90s was.
Yeah.
Sports, everything was great in the 90s.
Everything was booming.
Like just cartoons, just movies.
Yeah.
Everything now, like I'll tell you the truth, I really don't even watch today's TV. I'll go back. I'll go back to the 90s. I watch Martin. I watch Wayne's Brothers. I watch Fresh Prince. Still to this day, I still watch those shows because it was just great. Like just the moments of it. So I watched Saved by the Bell. I watched all of that.
Man, it was all special. What's going on, everybody? This is David Tyree, Super Bowl 42 champion, owner of DT3 Enterprises, where you get the truth, transparency, and transformation. Listen, are you looking to increase your brand's visibility? Are you looking to partner with an iconic platform, business owners such as myself? Look no further. We want to give you a unique opportunity for your business, for your brand to partner with Mr. Helmet Catch himself and catch your next moment. If you're excited about the opportunity, make sure you contact us at davidtyree85.com. I said to me the best part when you hear old cats like us talk about it, it was the first time that diversity of talent, of culture, was actually brought to quality, right? It was quality. Like, you had back in the 70s, you had blaxploitation films. I couldn't get with it as a kid, as a young kid.
Right.
But music in the 80s, it was still pop. But you had Mike running pop, right? So that's 80s. But 90s, hip-hop culture was amazing. Yep. Pop R&B, culture. It was a diversity of voices. It was like no style was the same. Everything was different. And now that's the hard part about today is everything. It's like everybody got the recipe and they just copy and paste in recipes.
Absolutely.
So for you as a creative, what do you put the premium on? Is like in your experience, even today, because like I said, whether it's music or television shows, what do you put the premium on to not just bring your work together, but even the things that you enjoy? What kind of brings that together and makes this like this beautiful ramen noodle soup?
The artwork, as far as the artwork,
artwork. Because you blend culture.
Yes, I'm a like I said, 90s hip hop. Like I'll go back to 90s, 2000s, and just like listen to music. I'm very musically driven.
Got you.
I was like, that song, listen to what he said. What did he just say?
Yeah.
And then I'll put that, lyric or something on a dictionary, and then I'm like, and he said this, and he quoted this. This is what he said. You know, I'm very musical driven, and I love all types of music.
Oh, dope.
Country, I'm trying not to get. I don't know about that.
It takes a little while to get to country. I don't bump it, but I understand why people like. I find it took me a long time.
It's more pop. It's more pop now. It's not like the. Yeah. It's not like the.
You got some brothers coming in that space too.
Oh yeah, it's actually pretty good too. And I listened to a few songs that's recently out.
Yeah. You know, it's most. I realize obviously it's like the locker room is very similar. It's like certain things you just can't relate to. Right, it's like and people think that that's offensive. We try to make everything a polarizing issue from white to black, Hispanic to to Asian. It's like well, no, I really couldn't understand anything about an Asian person until I saw Crazy Rich Asian. That movie. I saw the movie. I'm like, man, that's fantastic. They got a whole nother life and lingo going on as people. And I think that's what's so cool about art and the ability to facilitate so much dialogue through creativity. Mm-hmm. What has been your favorite piece that, like your own personal favorite, like not even the most popular? What's your own personal favorite and why?
Still to this day, my childhood piece, I highlighted the word childhood. So basically that was my state of innocence, and I drew Sonic on there. I drew Fresh Prince characters, moments from Saved by the Bell, things like around that era when I was around 10, 12.
Nice.
You get what I'm saying? It's a whole, like, I had Boys in the Hood on there. I had a bunch of things that I basically So moments that, and everybody enjoys it because, and shout out to IG fans because they enjoy it because I'm taking a part of their life,
bro,
and literally, like, oh my God, I remember this. and some people literally thank me and say, I appreciate you just for even bringing this back into my life because it was nothing like that time. Yeah. And to put a smile on somebody else's face, it keeps me going, tell you the truth, man. And it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people out there that's hurt, man. And life is hard, man. It's not easy.
Talk about it. It's real.
So just to have somebody smile and say, like, that puts a bright smile on my face, man. Tell you the truth.
Like I said, I'm a tweener, so I'm literally born right in 1980. So I tell you, I was born at the perfect time because it was like the intersection. By the time I'm 10 years old, you kind of understand what a computer is. And there were some people that was into it and some people that wasn't. It was like, so I didn't really rock with AOL online. Like, all these, we didn't have a computer in my house. My mom bought a word processor. Right. She's like, yeah, you do this. I'm like, I'm over here like, wait. I'm like, this is a typewriter.
Typewriter, yep.
So, yep. And the only reason why I mention that is because, man, it's like, it really, it's the perfect blend. So it was the perfect blend of a healthy experience. A healthy experience because life was outside. People was outside, like you wasn't living inside. And but in relation to when you talk about the pain points, man, like it's craziness outside. A lot of the people I knew and grew up with, they had challenges where fathers weren't present. We could talk about the crack era. We could talk about so many different things 80s. That impacted a previous generation that left us a little bit lacking some things that we didn't even know we was lacking. Mm-hmm. But so when you say life is hard, man, it really is. And it's not until you actually move into becoming a man yourself where you realize all that's needed to lay up for another generation. How old were you when you had your first child?
I was 28.
There you go. So I was 21 in college in Syracuse. Oh, wow. Terrified, dog. So for you, like when you think about, Let's talk about some of those moments, like when you talk about life is hard and you now get a chance to not just receive that own form of personal therapy, but provide healing through your art. So what, like when you consider the insecurities, like I said, and first of all, we need offensive linemen, so like we need the big boy. But Absolutely. As a young man, that's difficult to process when you got, listen, we humans are jacked up. We like, hey dog, you're ugly, dude. And I'm telling you, like I was one of those drunk dudes who just say something crazy.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. I'm like, man, we have this ability to be horrible. So for you, when you think about the intersection of what your therapy and provide therapy, what does that mean to you? And what was the thing was there anything that ever was like a real blow to your soul to the point where it's like, you say you retreated and recluse. Like, what was the moment where you was like, yeah, I don't even know. Who was it your wife? Was it your friends? How do you dig yourself out of those places? Or is it a combination of things?
I say losing the side of my immediate family who I'm no longer close to. Like now
Lost some really close family members.
I still reflect on it because,
dealing with the loss.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but my wife helps me cope with it. A therapist. I have a therapist too.
Excellent, man.
Everybody needs a therapist, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, we're normalizing it now.
I preach the gospel to it, man, because honestly, everybody needs somebody to talk to, regardless.
Sure.
Because, even if you're fine, like I feel nothing wrong.
Sure.
Is wrong with therapy because in the Black community, I think we frown upon it. Like nothing's wrong. Like nothing's wrong. Like a beating to help. Like how many times you gonna beat a kid until they're continuously doing the same acts and they're still acting out. So there's something wrong there. You get what I'm saying?
Understanding.
Yeah. So
you got to excavate the soul.
Right.
Like I said, I certainly have relationships, and obviously even being in the space, in the player development space, professionally, we worked hand in hand with our clinicians. So, but I lost my mind for a minute. So when I had a massive life transition, when I got arrested on marijuana, I lost my mind. I was had a psychotic episode. Mm-hmm. So when people talk about mental health, I'm like, no, I've been a pioneer for this, because as much as I'm a spiritual man, I said I think it's all connected at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
I just really believe it's all connected. I don't think God is surprised.
Yeah.
So I tell people, it's like, and everybody likes to put, like, we're complex people. And everybody likes to live in one pod, physical, mental, spiritual. And how about all of it?
Absolutely.
The emotional side. So in light of, you talked about your favorite piece of work, talk about some of the, whether you want to call them celebrities, influencers.
Okay.
What have been some of the coolest experiences that you've had with influential people that have really given you a sense of validation?
Gary Vaynerchuk, he reached out to me. He's a social media influencer. I know. Yeah,
Gary.
I actually went to his office. He invited me to his office, so that was a blessing in itself.
Hey, Gary V, I didn't get no invite, Gary. No.
I delivered a piece to him.
Bro.
Yes, I delivered a piece to him at NYC. Like Shannon Sharp was. I mean, I watched bro growing up, and just I would never in a million years think I would link with Shannon.
Bro.
And he's the most humble guy, and I can't say nothing negative about him.
That's fantastic.
No need to. And there's no need. He's awesome. A great person. But
Hall
like
of Fame.
Odell, shout out to Odell, because
Odell show love.
I used to collect paintings. I used to paint, and I used to go to autograph signings. So when I went to the autograph signing, Odell had an autograph signing. This was after the catch. So his rookie year. It was after the catch his rookie year. I brought the piece there. I did a painting. It was half LSU, half New York Giants.
Nice.
So when he seen it, he signed mine, and he told his roommate whom he was with, he told him, hey, I want that piece.
Nice.
So this was before I was even started the art business. Like I was just doing it. I was doing it for myself because I was like, this is therapeutic. You get what I'm saying? I was like, this is going to be collected in my crib, But he reached out, and I met up with him at the Palisades Mall. I made another one for him. He wanted it bigger.
Wow.
So he collected that piece. We met up. I still have the photos of it, man.
That's fire,
and
bro.
it was a dope experience. And I was like, that put a light bulb in your head. That's a turn. It's like, hey, if I can, bro, what else am I capable of?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What else am I capable of? Like, what else the world have in store? Maybe God is bringing this back into my life for a reason.
Yeah.
So now I see this is my calling. You get what I'm saying? This is my calling. This is my
It.
calling.
You know, I love hearing you talk out the journey because, you know, like no one wants to say I lack confidence, I'm insecure, I'm weak-minded. And like I said, I think even when I'm saying this is, I said we have to be sober with who we are to get to where we want to be. And so even when we talk about things like therapy, relationships, having a healthy ecosystem so that we can heal, grow, and facilitate this journey toward becoming everything that God would allow any person to be. What would you say, you know, is like I'm gonna ask you what has been your defining moment? So when you talk about Gary Vee, I mean, and this could be personally or professionally, you're a husband, you're a father, you're a lot of things, and you got an amazing online community that's just, because, bro, I rarely miss a post. Rarely. I don't do notifications, but I'm tuned in. So I'm like, bro, killing it.
And as a fan of you, man, like that's a blessing in itself, man. That's a big accomplishment. Like never in a million years would I have thought I'd be sitting next to David Tyree right now.
It took too long. It took too long in light of knowing the pedigree.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah, man. So what would you say is your defining moment?
I would say as far as art, my defining moment was just having kids, being a family man myself.
Oh, excellent.
And finally actually experience being a family guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've never had that. Like I've never had a 4-family household where we're sitting down, like, and my kids saying, "Daddy, this." I would never think
it was a son.
You know, like
I love your
response
to that.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and you just go with it. You just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. And it's a blessing too. You know, they're happy for me. You know, they're happy for me. And they keep me going. And like I said, the social media file, like Meek Mill, I did a piece for Meek Mill.
Yeah.
So he reached out, and Meek Mill follows me as well. So I did a Christmas piece for him. So it was, so it was dope. That was tough because I listened to his music, Dream Chasers, all of that. So just
I missed out on the majority of his catalog, but Dreams and Nightmares was just like that's an epic
and
track.
that was one of my pumped up albums.
Listen,
Dreams and
man.
Nightmares. So
the boy is talented. The young man is talented,
absolutely.
Man.
So just to have these people that you listen to and you see on TV, those moments are defined in itself.
It's so dope. You know, bro, it's great hearing, like I said, the collective journey, because when you tie it all to, like, you know, you already mentioned you feel that sense of calling, a true sense of purpose as you're tuning in, able to build community around your creative gift, and even allowing that to be a source of provision and inspiration for your family. What do you feel like? I mean, sky is clearly the limit, but for you and your mindset, you know, like the business side of art, what has been like the sobering part, and what has been like, you know, like, because it's one thing to be skilled as an artist, another thing to go into business. What has been like either the rude awakening, or, you know, like what is the next few years, you know, what do you hope to either accomplish or aspire for the Art of the Giant?
With the help of my buddy Mitch too, that's my partner, and
Respect.
he helps me out.
Well, now you're talking. There you go. Big shout, Mitch.
He's more the business side of the thing.
This is how you run a business.
Right. So Mitch is more the business side. So me is like, I'm just the talent. I'm doing the talent. I'm drawing, and
it ain't just
these people.
You the machine, dog.
Right. I'm doing what I'm doing, and he's doing what he's doing. So
Excellent.
Whatever the future brings and whatever the future holds, that's what I'm up for. That's it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to grow. And every day you learn something new as an experienced artist and a professional artist.
It's really good.
So I'm growing just like everybody else. I watch YouTube videos of other artists just to see,
stay on your
just
craft.
To get better. To get better.
You know what they call it in sports? Watching film.
Right. It's like watching film. I'm practicing other artists. I'm literally practicing other artists in better shading, how to do it better, how to get better and gradually.
Now, I'll tell you, so you talked about the maps. Also, you talked about the dictionary. Talk about what's the composition. What do you use to bring that? And we're going to show some of these pieces.
Absolutely. I use oil pastels and color pencils.
Okay.
I blend it too.
Nice.
And a lot of people don't know I do wall murals as well. So so I do wall murals as well.
Okay. Now
So I paint too. That's another element I have.
Yeah.
I did my kids' rooms.
Yeah.
I did a few projects. So
all right.
yeah.
Now we cooking. We breaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta leak all out. We gotta link all the levers. You know what I mean? All the levers and verticals to the art of the giant.
I do math too, like math problems as well. Like
because you're in education,
right?
So and we're gonna show. I'm gonna make sure we show that piece where we talk about the numbers. 1 times 2
right.
equals Deion Sanders in college.
right.
So, the impact of education and your journey, like I said, as an educator, what do you believe where art stands? Because it's always been an interesting, like arts and education easily gets squeezed out in light of budget.
Right.
Like, so with you being an educator and an artist, how do you, what do you see from not just in the future, how do you deal with that construct knowing that if you could actually marry the two, it's actually the perfect lens for learning? So
right. So I hated math. I hated math growing up.
Yeah.
So math was literally my worst subject, dude.
And I love math. I hear that more than
I honestly
couldn't
stand it. History was my favorite subject. So that's
where
you can see. That's what you can see in the art is just going back to these historic 90s moments and things like that and what's in culture right now and pop culture right now.
Sure.
So I even pick up U.S. history books and just look through it and just to skim through it and just to see U.S. history was my favorite subject. Shout out to Missy Cole, who was my teacher. So she know I love her to death. And she was my 7th grade teacher, and I'm still keeping contact to her to this day.
Dang,
so
that's tough, bro.
Yeah, so
that's the impact. That's the impact these teachers have. It's true.
It's always one you find
at least
and
one.
You still remember that teacher.
I got 2.
Yeah, I have a few. I
got a couple. I'm like, yo.
Some I dislike, but it's all good.
Yeah.
With the math, I was like, let me do something fun with something I hated, something I disliked. So let me link players' jerseys to the actual answers.
Love this.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
So 3 times 1, I'm gonna give you 3, and it's Allen Iverson. So I'm giving you Allen Iverson.
They'll never forget it.
Exactly. So you'll never forget Allen Iverson.
Hey, 9 times 3, Brandon Jacobs. You'll never forget.
Exactly.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Nah, it's the fun part for me, Drew, is number one, you can hear your experience of not just growing to maturity, moving into a state of where like I said, you're one of the best in what you do. And obviously there's so many different artists, but there's so much room for everybody.
Absolutely.
Because once you find that true niche and that true audience, which your platform has already showed, the people find you.
Right.
So it's really like, man, I'm walking into the space where I know this is authentically me, but how many people you relate to.
Absolutely.
So, so listening to your journey, I really just hear so much of, man, at one time I didn't know who liked me. And it's amazing. I feel like, the things that was once a retreat is now the reinforcement.
Yeah.
So man, just salute to you, bro, to your journey.
Thank you.
And just tell the audience where to find you and what to expect from the Art of the Giant.
My website is www.artofagiant.com. My Instagram tag is art_of_a_giant. And find me on IG. And
get that work.
Absolutely.
Listen, so
I do custom orders, anything you like, but just do it ahead of time, please.
Give the man some time to be great.
Just ahead of time.
Hey, listen, man, greatness takes time. Greatness takes time. It takes preparation. You put the work in. You bore the stripes. You've healed well. You have a dynamic family. You have a great future, man. So thanks for spending the time, sharing your story. And man, I know everything that you've actually paid the price for is going to continue to help people equip.
I appreciate that.
For people to find their next
That means
moment.
a lot coming from you. And also I want to say,
Go for it.
Rest in peace to Jermaine Art Taylor.
Oh man, R.I.P.
He just passed away. He was a great artist that I knew from Houston, Texas,
Man, thanks for sharing that. R.I.P. and blessings
Yeah.
to his family, man. That's what we're here to do. We're here to learn. We're here to love. We're here to lead. So, man, make sure y'all check into this. Get great done on your next mission, and we'll check in with y'all next week.